as the first president of colour portrait to hang at the Law Society in Chancery Lane, and only the 6th female. In a 200-year history, that's quite incredible. And whilst this may seem surprising, the reality is that there has been and continues to be ceilings and barriers to all forms of diversity, both in the legal industry and in society more broadly. But ceilings are there to be smashed. And that is exactly what we are all working hard to do, and no one more than you, Stephanie. And so thank you very much for doing that. Your passion for social justice is a great inspiration, and I know you're a wonderful role model to many, both within the legal profession and far beyond. And that's very important, because it's actually been one of my biggest learnings as in my role as senior partner here at Linklaters, just how critical role models are. And not just any role model, but people that are relatable, that look, sound and think like they do. It inspires, it energizes, and it gives people the confidence to be the best that they can be. And yes, that's great for the individual, but it's also very good for business and the world that we live in, bringing better ideas, better judgment, and better outcomes. So we're at Linklaters, we're very proud to be able to host the unveiling this evening for you, Stephanie. It's great recognition for all your wonderful achievements, your leadership, and your contribution over many years. And I hope everybody here has a wonderful evening. And I'm now going to hand over to Alison Eady, Managing Partner from Irwin Mitchell, who I know is also a great supporter of Stephanie. So Alison, over to you.
Thank you. You've just been elevated to Managing Partner for Irwin Mitchell.
Excellent.
For the London office, although I would say London is the most important office, of course.
Very important to keep elevating words.
First of all, thank you so much, Stephanie, for asking me to say a few words on this really special evening for you. Trailblazer is an overused word, but you truly are a trailblazer. I'm proud to have you as a friend and have so much admiration for all that you've achieved. So it's wonderful to be here tonight celebrating your achievements with you. So we first started working with Stephanie at Irwin Mitchell during the pandemic, when she became, as we know, the first person of colour, 6 woman to hold the position of president. Significant milestone, of course. So her tenure as president coincided with unprecedented challenges, Brexit, COVID-19, and of course at times of crisis we look to our leaders. So Stephanie, you successfully navigated the Law Society through really tough times, ensuring the profession remained resilient, and your leadership was instrumental in adapting to the digital world. Your presidency was of course marked by your unwavering commitment to making the legal profession more diverse and more inclusive. So back in 2020, right in the middle of the first lockdown, I think, I had the pleasure of hosting Stephanie at an Irwin Mitchell webinar, Diversity in Law, My Journey. We should never underestimate the power of storytelling, which at its heart is about connection, sharing experiences, and of course can be a catalyst for change. When we share our stories, we offer a piece of ourselves, inviting others to see the world through our eyes. And your story is one of resilience, hard work, sheer determination, but it's your vulnerability, humility, and authenticity that makes your narrative so powerful. I remember feeling so in awe of your strength at that webinar. Despite many obstacles, you never gave up. The reality is most careers include setbacks and challenges, but as you've said so many times, every door is open if you push and persevere until something happens. Your story isn't just one of personal success though, it's one of empowerment and inspiration for future generations. Throughout your career, you've passionately advocated for equity, diversity and inclusion, and have spoken extensively about the importance of belonging. Everyone needs to feel valued and included, and fostering an inclusive environment where everyone feels they belong is essential for well-being and for the success of our profession. And you talk about leadership, of our duty as leaders to listen, to learn, to educate ourselves, and to elevate others, mentor and coach them, open up our networks and opportunities. And we need to be relatable, visible role models, and as you remind us, we also need to be kind. After stepping down as president, you've continued to be a thought leader and advocate for change. Your role as president has opened doors you never thought would open, and you now use your voice to amplify the voices of others, helping achieve social impact. You've worked tirelessly to promote social mobility and access to justice, ensuring no one is unfairly excluded from the legal profession due to their background or diverse characteristics. Part of your legacy will be that law firms are now more excited by work experience in a restaurant or a pub or a shoe shop or wherever, where people's skills really matter, than they are by shadowing a lawyer for a week. So you and I have chatted about what more we as law firms can do, given the need for societal shift. In our society, social class remains the strongest predictor of life outcomes, and you're committed to challenging this, not just through law firm recruitment processes, but reminding us of the part we all need to play, using our voices to change mindset in homes, in schools, in communities. And you strongly advocate for investment in our justice system, integral to the well-being of our society. You point to legal aid deserts, and you remind us that although we've come a long way, there's still a long way to go. For example, last week, shining a light on the lack of judicial diversity at a webinar I was on with you. So yes, last week, Owen Mitchell, we had a webinar, Diverse Voices, Unified Vision, Creating an Inclusive Future for Legal Services Delivery. We're like a really snappy title, Owen Mitchell. And on that webinar, I asked Stephanie what change she would hope to see if we were having this conversation in 10 years' time. And what she said was she would love to no longer have conversations about equality and inclusivity, but to get there, she stressed the importance of collaboration and speaking with one voice for greater impact. Congratulations, Stephanie, and thank you for showing us that with determination, hard work, self-belief, dreams truly can become a reality. So let's all be inspired by your example as we strive for a more just and equitable society. Thank you. Handing over to John Hayes at DLA Piper.
Thank you. I'd like to echo my thanks, Stephanie. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege of saying even a few words to such a great audience, and thank you very much to Linklaters for hosting this. It's fantastic to be here on a very special occasion. In June 2019, I had the great good fortune to meet Dana Denise-Smith, who's sitting here, the founder of the First 100 Years, and that led to a conversation which led to DLA Piper sponsoring a video curated by the First 100 Years, which charted the very long and winding road that led to Stephanie becoming the 177th President of the Law Society, and it's worth repeating, as others have said already, only the 6th female president and the first person of colour to be President of the Law Society. And so for International Women's Day in 2020, just before the curtain came down and COVID sent us all home, we hosted the premiere of Stephanie's film, and one of my fellow board members at DLA Piper, Benita Aurora, had a conversation with you, Stephanie, in front of an audience a bit like tonight. And we've collaborated with you in many ways ever since. And the theme of our collaboration has been to celebrate all that your career embodies: leadership, perseverance, decency, integrity, grit, a lot of grit, and even more humour, a great sense of humour. And on every occasion, you have inspired the groups and the individuals with whom you've met by being yourself, and we're really grateful for that. In common with our host tonight and many other businesses represented here at DLA Piper, we are passionate about providing equity and creating an inclusive culture to make sure that everyone gets the support that they need to have the same level of access, opportunity and belonging regardless of their background. And we do so for the very simple reason that it is the right thing to do, because it enriches our profession and enables us to serve our communities better, and because it expands the pool of talent and the breadth of experience from which we and our clients can all benefit. So Stephanie's career and the video which we sponsored a few years ago richly demonstrate the importance of being a visible role model for others to see. And so I'm therefore very grateful for the privilege of paying tribute to you tonight as we celebrate a further way in which you will be visible for many to see over the years in an important building. Every time we see or think about your portrait, it will be a reminder to us all of our obligation to make sure in how we behave and what we do that everyone, regardless of their background, has access to a meaningful career within the legal profession. Because my goodness, your career has been meaningful already. And I think we're probably at the half-time break. So thank you so much, Stephanie. And now I'd like to hand over, please, to Theo Felstead, our violinist.
Well done, John. Well done.